Hey everybody, John Felt here. This is the BWO Weather's weekly weather briefing, and there's a lot to talk about. We have almost turned on the weather switch so far in 2024 with active winter storms and a big trend alert towards colder weather that's going to extend into mid-month. So there is a lot to talk about in this briefing. Let's get started. First off, weather system number one. You probably heard about all the heavy snow up in the northeast U.S., primarily around the Boston area, and that is still occurring. Winter weather warnings are in place for parts of New England. But right behind it, the second system is already brewing right here. We have winter storm warnings already posted for parts of the plains, so the next system's right behind it. Let's take a look at precipitation last week, and pretty much most of the nation was fairly quiet. A couple things to point out was the active track right along the Gulf here. That's associated with El Nino. Pacific Northwest was active, and then we had the rain and snow moving up towards the northeast. Now we take a look at snow, and you can see where the heavy snow was so far. I see a foot of snow in spots in parts of the northeast. We see it being enhanced by the higher elevations of the Appalachians. Some snow over the Midwest, not really organized all that much, and then the higher elevations of the western U.S. Now, if you want to see where snow is currently on the ground, here you go. And, we are seeing some changes. It's not a deep snowpack over parts of the area, the Midwest, and just sort of a teaser. I'm going to put out a snow update, a winter update early this week. But we are beginning to see some changes in our snow pattern right now. Now, last week we had well above normal temperatures over the upper Midwest here. Boy, that is going to change drastically. So I hope you enjoyed the mild winter so far if you're in that area, Minneapolis, for example, because, like I said, very big changes are ahead. Taking a look at the rivers, you can see how rivers have seen significant rises over the mid-Atlantic into the northeast. Those are those blue dots, and that's associated with the recent winter storm. So as I start the forecast, let's take a look at the big picture. Now, remember last month we had on our weather regimes the Pacific trough that was associated with mild weather and fairly quiet weather. Well, right now we're in a strong Greenland high. That's the orange here. That's going to last into the middle part of the month. And that's associated with a whole different type of a weather pattern. Now, there's our Greenland high right here. And what we have is with that pattern, the jet stream sinks to the south, and that results in colder continental Arctic air. Now, you can see that as we go through the sequence here on the forecast. This is on Tuesday, and here's our weather system that's right behind the one that occurred over the weekend. And this is a very potent looking weather system. I'll show you all the weather impacts anticipated very soon. Then by Thursday, we get into, there's that Arctic, or the Greenland high, and look at the dip in the jet stream here, and that's associated with really cold air, coldest air of the season. So we see it moving in the next couple days, but really, as we get towards the end of the week, we see that settling in, and that is going to be much below normal temperature anomalies compared to what those regions have experienced so far this winter. So a lot of active winter storm tracks this week. The first one is going to be across the southeast up into the northeast U.S. Now, remember, this area got a lot of rain last week, so this is going to be back-to-back rain. Stream flow is running high, so there is a flood concern over parts of the southeast, mid-Atlantic into the northeast U.S. Likewise, in the Pacific Northwest, atmospheric river is rated as a 2, and that means we're bringing some higher levels of moisture, mainly west of the Cascades and higher elevations. But I think the big story is going to be right in here over the next week. Now, how much of that's going to be snow? Well, we're getting snow from the first system lingering in the northeast U.S. And then here's the snow forecast for the second system, and that's going to bring some snow to the Midwest, parts of Iowa, northern Illinois, southeast Wisconsin, parts of the plains, Nebraska, and Kansas. Now let's go out a little bit further and look at our extended forecast for week 2, and you can see how those temperature anomalies The temperature departures are greatest over the upper Midwest, parts of the plains, and quieter pattern, and that's what we'd expect with a cold, stable air mass. So big changes ahead as far as temperature. Take a look at Minneapolis. And first of all, I wanted to show you this is the Arctic Oscillation. The Arctic Oscillation is forecast to be negative for the next couple weeks. And look at Minneapolis. Relatively balmy, 32 degrees, and we're looking at highs in the single digits and lows below zero as we get next weekend at this time. So like I said, we have a lot of weather impacts here. We have heavy snow with this winter storm right in here, middle part of the nation and the northeast U.S. High winds. We have a significant flood risk here over the south central U.S. and let's not downplay this. In some highly populated areas, we also have a significant flood risk early in the week. And to add everything up here, we also have a severe storm risk over the southeast U.S. So this system that's going to be impacting the nation this week is going to usher in some really cold air. But with that, we're going to have high winds, heavy rain, flooding, severe storms, and heavy snow. So just about everything. That's this week's forecast. Have a great week. Take care.